Hey guys, Timmy here, and welcome back to another episode of Underdog. In today's episode, we're going to be going over the Spitfire LMG. Now, Spitfire LMG is an interesting weapon in Titanfall because it's the only LMG in Titanfall. So, there's a certain way to use the gun, and there's actually one really great modification that you could do to the gun that really makes it one of the best, and probably the best gun for taking out Titans. If you've played Titanfall, you know what I'm talking about. So let's get into it. First things first, the damage for the Spitfire LMG. The Spitfire LMG has a maximum damage of 70 and a minimum damage of 45, making a 3 to 5 shot kill. Now, the 3 shot kill at closer range is pretty good. That's really good for a closer range damage, but when it drops down to a 5 shot kill, that's really not that great. You're really going to be struggling to hit people because the rate of fire is kind of low, so it's going to be kind of harder to hit your shots, and the recoil of the Spitfire LMG is a bit much, so it will be actually kind of hard to get those shots on people. So it's more towards medium range and for like the special loadout that I'm talking about, but the maximum damage is really good at closer range. So I suggest keeping it in closer range. That's really where you're gonna excel at, and that's just really it, man. Now, the rate of fire for the Spitfire LMG is 540 rounds per minute. That is slow. That is slower than the R101C, all the SMGs. I mean, it's faster than like the Smart Pistol, but it's the same rate of fire as the Sidewinder missile launcher, rocket launcher thing. It's pretty slow rate of fire. So even though you have a high damage at closer range, it is going to be pretty hard to kill people in closer range because you have such a slow rate of fire. So if you miss, like say one shot, someone with a shotgun or an R101C is gonna get you. So I definitely suggest, keeping like your rate of fire, like just making sure you make your shots count, because you really don't want to lose out on using the Spitfire. You want to make sure all your bullets hit so you can get that 3-shot kill, or even if you have to get that 5-shot kill. Now, the reload time for the Spitfire LMG is pretty slow. I mean, compared to say the other like magazine fed weapons like the R101C, the CAR, SMG, but it is still pretty fast, with 2.8 seconds with bullets still in the magazine and 3.33 seconds with no bullets in the magazine. It is still kind of fast. It's not that slow. If you have the quick reload kit, it's even better. That's what I always use. But it's really not that bad of a reload time, especially if you're not in super close range, but you're more medium range. If you're able to like duck around a corner for a second and get a reload in, it's really not too bad. Reload time is pretty decent for the Spitfire LMG. Now, the magazine size for Spitfire LMG, it's an LMG. It's got to have a high magazine count, and you know it does. It's got 80 rounds in the magazine. That is really good, and you can put extended mags on there for even more ammo if you need it. I don't suggest extended magazine. I suggest something else, but if you need more ammunition, then you can go right ahead. But I think 80 rounds is more than enough. It's definitely enough to get a couple kills or take down a Titan. Really good amount of bullets in the magazine. Now, the loadout for the Spitfire LMG is basically, there's only one optic and one modification you should use, in my opinion, and I'll go over it. There are 3 optics for the Spitfire LMG. There's the Hcog, the hollow sight, and the AOG sight. Now, the problem is with the Spitfire LMG is that it has a very slow aim down sight time. So basically, when you press like your mouse button or your controller trigger, it takes a while for the Spitfire LMG to aim down the sight, except if you use the Hcog. If you have the Hcog on, it will really low. It will be able to lock onto people much faster and aim down sight much faster, like it is with say all the other assault rifles and SMGs. It'll have that same faster aim down sight time. So you definitely want to use the Hcog. I mean, you can use the hollow sight or the AOG if you want, but it just feels like so sluggish to aim down sight so slowly like the hollow sight and the AOG. So I definitely suggest Hcog. It's really just the best option because you're going to be aiming down sight much faster, and you want to be able to have your sights up as quick as you can in case of a pilot or something. Now, the weapon mods, there are 2. There's the extended mag, which increases your magazine size. Like I said, I think there's enough rounds in the magazine. If you want to add more, you can, but I really don't suggest it. There's enough rounds. But there's also this another attachment called the Slammer. Now, the Slammer increases rodeo damage, and what rodeo damage is when you hop on the back of a Titan and you like rip out that panel and you start shooting at the inside of the Titan to take it out. Without say you do it with like a normal gun like the R101C, it's gonna take you maybe like maybe like 3-4 magazines to completely take down a Titan if like the shields are still up. If you have the slammer attachment on the Spitfire LMG, it completely destroys Titans. I'm not even exaggerating. It destroys Titans. The slammer attachment on the Spitfire LMG is the best attachment for the Spitfire LMG. There really is no reason to use extended mag over this. As long as you're hopping onto back of Titans and you're taking them out like so quickly with the slammer, it is ridiculous. You don't know how many times pilots won't even be able to react and jump out enough to get you because you already destroyed their Titan with them in it. It is seriously really good. I can't exaggerate this enough. It is really good. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Underdog. Try out the Spitfire LMG with the Hcog and the Slammer. Both really good attachments for the Spitfire LMG. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave a like, favorite, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll see you guys next time.